Week 5 in the Always Sunday Football League, and we just get 50-point scorers every week now, apparently. After more than a third of the season, 8 of the 12 teams are 3-2 or 2-3. Stillwater are still winners, and the Bums' drunken fighting style has punch. Meanwhile, PBJ and the Chump are in freefall as the losses mount. As a reminder, we have never seen a team go undefeated or winless for an entire regular season. In this episode, we discuss the week's outcomes and standings, break down the roster impact of some key injury returns and departures, and we look ahead at some key matchups for next week. And we're also going to talk about the trades in the league that have happened so far. But first, let's welcome our panel. Anthony, how's it going?
It's going good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Very well. Danny, thanks for joining.
Hello.
And we have a special guest. Johnny is sick, so he's out tonight. But in filling in his spot is Bobby J. Bobby J, welcome to the show.
Dude, I am super excited to be here tonight. Let's get this shit rolling.
Awesome. Let's start off with everybody's favorite segment, Not What You Want. This week, we had a bunch of things that we didn't want to have happen. The first thing, it's too bad. There's going to be a bunch of things that I wish Johnny was here for, but one of them is that Jonathan Taylor returned. Oh, Anthony just left us. I think he unplugged himself or something like that. So we'll just keep going. Jonathan Taylor returned to football action, but you'd never know it. And definitely that's not what you want if you are somebody who owns Jonathan Taylor. However, we'll talk about Jonathan Taylor's backup in just a little bit. Justin Jefferson went on the IR with a hamstring. Not what you want. But there was like a weird report that I think Schefter tweeted out, or somebody tweeted about the fact that he might not even be back when the IR is over, judging from the severity of the injury. So we'll see what happens. But it's going to be at least 4 weeks before we see Justin Jefferson again. Devon Achane, same situation. He's on the IR as well. James Conner, IR. Anthony Richardson, IR. Khalil Herbert got that high ankle, so he's going to be done probably a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, something like that. Dallas defense lost another starter to the IR, and that defense is still really good, but they're losing players piece by piece. Not what you want. Patriot players in fantasy football. Patriot players, you do not want any Patriots in fantasy football this year. Something else you don't want if you're Frank Reich or if you're a Panthers fan, is hearing Frank Reich intimating that the owner is too involved and is a detriment to the team. There was a weird interview that Frank Reich did during a press conference or press period where he basically said that the owner is a little too hands-on, and that's not what you want. And the final thing that you don't want is multiple players entering the concussion protocol. We haven't really talked about it too much, but it seems like every guy who goes into the concussion protocol this year misses at least one game. So, concussion protocol basically means out for the following week. So that's definitely something that you don't want. Is there any injuries that I missed that I didn't cover here?
I think you hit everyone. If you did miss him, then that's a fucking problem. That's like too many this week, bro.
Yeah, nobody. Well, let's see, Anthony. You got Khalil Herbert going down to an injury, but I don't think anybody else here has anybody that they lost that was particularly significant this week.
Nope.
So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. We like that. So let's go into last week's games, shall we, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Take a look at what happened.
I had enough injuries last year for fucking 2 years, so I should sit through.
Yeah, that's true. You're still, you've regressed, and rightfully so. This week, once again, the league's high score mark stood for just 1 week. Just when you think you've seen the biggest one, a bigger one pops up. That's what she said. Defeated run 214.66 to 150.52 to push their record to 3-2 and announce their presence in the J. Chuck division. Jamar Chase led the way with 56.2 points, as it seems we get multiple 50s every week. Josh Allen scored just over 30, and Travis Etienne scored just under 40. And when the dust settled, the league had a new high score mark. That's what she said, had a second consecutive win and run, in addition to having the worst name in the league, has a second consecutive loss. There's no telling how long the scoring mark will stand, but right now, that's what she said is this week's hero. So congratulations to Will. Huge week, as I mentioned, 214 points. Yeah, people are just putting up giant numbies. One game that was a little bit more disappointing, one game that didn't really put up any numbies at all. Our closest loss of the week came in one of the two lowest scoring games. Sweep the leg, dropped a heartbreaker to the Golden Showers by a score of 112.08 to 104.62. This 7.46 point loss dropped Sweep the Leg's record to 2-3, as 4 players scored in single digits and another 2 players combined for negative 0.6 points. Hunter Henry had 0 points, and Marvin Mims had negative 0.6 points. So the 2 players together scored less than nothing.
Not what you want.
No, that is not what you want. Both of Tua's interceptions were Jalen Waddle targets, and at least one of them was in the end zone, would have given Sweep the Leg the victory. But, one more star would have done the trick, as the Golden Showers left the door wide open with a soft showing, but this roster was way too scrub heavy. And for that, Sweep the Leg is this week's GOAT. I the GOAT.
And sniffing that ass. Woo. Yeah, listen. You're taking it honest. As an honest honor man. You're always full of good sportsmanship.
Yeah, the door was left wide open. Danny Mac's team. Let's talk about it now. I mentioned earlier that Jonathan Taylor did not perform really well at all. He only had like a handful of carries in the game. But Zach Moss, Danny Mac was forced into playing Zach Moss because bye weeks and whatever else. He's just like, you know what? I got to bite the bullet on Zach Moss. Danny, talk about that play.
Yeah, he went, and that would be the week. This week, you probably see more. I mean, he'll get carries, but within a couple weeks, you're not going to be seeing 30 points.
Who was out? So basically, if you didn't have bye situation, he probably wouldn't have been started for you.
Kenneth Walker,
had like 3 or 4. Cooper out.
So he wouldn't
Walker
have been
out.
Out. That's how that goes.
I don't know if I'm going to play. I might play. We'll see.
Well, whatever the case, good play, good win, and good job there.
Okay. I thought I was going to lose just because I had so many guys out. But
yeah, I thought my team would score more than 104 points. I'll tell you that right now. That was disappointing. That was very, very disappointing. Danny, the Kirk Stillwater gang defeated the 2023 chump 199.38 to 145.38. I don't want to say I told you so. So why don't you break down this game?
He keeps rolling. Like a 200 points again, or 9? Have you 35 running backs combined for 40? He does lose Justin Jefferson for at least nobody. He only put up
kind of a big
points.
Deal.
Yeah, Dave is 26. Luke 20. Oh, Mark Andrews 12.5. Olave 9. Who knows? He's, I think, probably going to play this week. Right? Didn't he get hurt?
I don't think so.
Questionable.
Everybody's questionable.
Yeah. And then Bryce Hall, 33 points. Oh, good play, Dave. And Jets just really good. Denver really bad. They put up 18. points, but he still lost by 50.
Yeah,
Brock
it's
Purdy put
important
up
to note that
26.
Lou did have a good game.
So, yeah,
Yeah, I
he'll
mean,
put up
he had 2
36. Ridley,
consecutive weeks of
22.
under 100.
Kyle Pitts sighting. You know,
That's
15 and
huge
0.
news. That's
Yeah.
24. But what are you going to do? Ran into him.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Lou got it figured out a little bit, but it was just the wrong spot on the wrong day against the wrong opponent.
Yeah.
As much as it pains me to say this,
Doesn't-
Luis has actually done a pretty decent job reshaping his roster a little bit. If he could dig up a serviceable running back or two, he might be able to eke out a win.
Wow, potential win prediction there. That's interesting.
Well, listen, if he could
I mean,
on a week he could score a 130 and somebody else's down week of like that's what you're shooting for, you know.
Any given Sunday, boys. Any
That's
given
right.
Sunday. Hey, Anthony, the Bums defeated the Gotham Rogues 160.52 to 135.64. Talk about it.
Yeah, this was a divisional matchup. Two guys at the top of their division there, or middle top, trying to fight to stay on top. And Narkowitz, I want to call him. I mean, Gotham Rogues. I just want to change it to Batman. This guy's like a hidden. Going into this week, he has no Saquon Barkley, no Jerome Ford, right? Missing out. Amon Ra, and he comes up and scores a 135, respectable score given that. Anthony Richardson goes down for the Bums, but the Bums was just had everybody having a great day. Jacobs just under a 20. Achan, even though he went down, he does lose him for 4 weeks, but he scores 26 and a half.
He also lost Anthony Richardson in this game, by the way.
Anthony Richardson as well,
Yeah.
by the way. Yeah, he's 2, and he's also already had a banged up team without, he lost Fryermuth and he's lost Javante here.
I want to say, didn't he lose Chubb also?
He lost Chubb.
Yeah, he's the new you.
Last year. Yeah. So, Nico Collins underperforming day, but then Gabe Davis, I think that's his third consecutive game with a touchdown. Pickens having another good day. Logan Thomas taking over everybody on the Washington receiving core. And then everything else kind of all right, but he scores a 160, puts himself 4-1 going against me next week. Well,
and he's also in first place now in the J Chuck division.
Yeah, with the two consecutive losses by the CMC. Yeah,
that's right. Yep. So there
every
you go.
year he seems to do that, but this year, better squad and injury, but just kind of gets through with some questionable roster here and there.
Yeah, Taylor. We've talked about Taylor plenty of times on this show before, but this year I think he's got a better roster than I've seen him have in a while. So it should be interesting to see how it shapes up. Hey, Bobby, did you know that Team Blumpkin in the Poop Fest of the week defeated PBJ by a score of 92.14 to 80.16, the lowest scoring game of this week? Did you know?
Well, nobody really deserved to win this game. Both teams were dog shit. Lamar Jackson was plagued by a ton of drops.
He was
probably at least 2 or 3 in the end zone. Mike has not been able to get anything out of the running back position. Alexander Madison had 12 points, but it's just brutal. Just a brutal game all around. AJ Dillon had 13 points, which is probably not what you wanted, considering Aaron Jones being out again.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. It's not a one-to-one exchange of players.
Yeah, it's not 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Aaron Jones does not equal AJ Dillon. Surprise.
They need to figure that out.
CJ Stroud kind of came back down to earth a little bit. So that hurt Johnny a little bit. But Johnny made a big trade with Anthony, as we all know. I don't know what he's going to do with 8 wide receivers on his roster, but I guess he'll figure it out. But I mean, he had to do something, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I wish Johnny was here to talk about it a little bit, but we'll cover some trades in the trade segment. But I guess the question I have is this rock bottom for Johnny? Do we see him start to head back in the positive direction? What now? What now?
I think he moves forward better. I think his next week's going to have a good game here. He parted ways, and we'll talk about that in the trade segment.
And the final game from last week was a thriller. The Beer Muscles defeated Sizzler 159.74 to 120.64. Bobby J's Beer Muscle team is rounding into form, and Anthony's Sizzler team is trading into form. And these two teams put up, decent scores, respectable scores. It's 120 out of the Sizzler was good, but 159 out of the Beer Muscles was just a little bit better. Beer Muscles had nice games from, pretty much,
DJ Moore.
Yeah, pretty much just DJ Moore. I'm looking at this and it was like, this is the DJ Moore show here. So Anthony ran into the DJ Moore performance. I kind of sort of almost forgot. DJ Moore blew up for 54 points on Thursday night, right? And then the whole weekend happened and I kind of forgot about it. He was one of our 50-point scorers. And Anthony, unfortunately, is it right or wrong that you faced DJ Moore in all 3 of your leagues this week?
Yeah, it wasn't fun. I only won 1 league.
So you survived DJ Moore in just 1 out of 3. And
yeah,
unfortunately, this was not
Josh Allen Diggs stack in that one, so that saved me. I only won by like 4.5 points.
And in this one, you lost by about 40 points, which kind of stinks. But it is what it is. You got that 54 spot from DJ Moore, and you move on with your life. You just kind of like chalk it up. It happens. It happens. Bobby
can't win them all.
Bobby sitting at 3-2 right now. How you feeling coming off the big win?
I feel good right now. I've pretty much turned over most of my roster. You have to be aggressive in this league, and you have to move tradable pieces if you can move tradable pieces to get better in certain areas. My wide receiver room was not great. So I kind of felt like I had to do something to fix it. But yeah, I feel okay about my team right now. I feel pretty good.
Anthony?
Yeah.
You actually are also sitting at 3-2. It was an opportunity for you to sort of separate yourself from the cluster. Instead, you fell in this one. How you feeling right now as we stand?
I'm feeling okay. Before or during the weekend, my team, my receivers are stacked. I have had a phenomenal boatload of receivers, and my running backs have been pretty lackluster. James Cook has been okay. He just hasn't got touchdowns. He's I like his involvement in the gameplay of Buffalo, but Ramondre has been, as you said, everybody on the Patriots. Oop. So
Yeah.
that's my only downside there is my running backs. I changed it up a little.
And just one little fun stat is that ever since I traded DJ Moore to Bobby, DJ Moore has been going completely berserk.
Not mad. Well, listen, who should be more mad, you or Johnny boy?
No, I'm not. I actually am not mad that is obviously just for the joke, but John is got to be beyond the word mad is not the correct word. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Let's get into the trade market report, boys. This is a good little segue right into the trade market. Let's start with Anthony, because I think Anthony, you're wheeling and dealing like a madman here. You traded with John, I think twice now, right?
Yeah.
And you started out with players that you traded away, and then you traded and you got them back.
I got one of them back.
Keenan Allen. Didn't you? And he took back players that he got from you, or that you got.
It was what I had out of this deal. I had Pittman, and he originally had Pittman. I had Keenan Allen. They were involved in the trade, and that was the only pieces that switched back.
Swapsies.
So, well, in a sense, I mean, I gave up a lot of depth.
Yes. As Bobby eloquently mentioned, Johnny has 8 receivers on the team.
Well, because we were chatting, I was like, bro, like, what? He's like, just send me something, and we'll talk about it, because he was busy or probably sick. So I was just like, all right, I don't know. I was like, Khalil Herbert's not a piece right now that's valuable to be able to give him like as a running back, and then I really don't have anything else. He really needs receivers. He's always running back. So I was like, fuck it. Quentin Johnson was just like that throw-in piece, so he can have a piece back of the offense because he's giving up Keenan Allen. But Devontae Smith has been depressing me. He's still a great player. He's still gonna have great games. But I just wanted to trade up. Michael Pittman, I think, is going to be good because I think Gardner Minshew is going to throw more than Richardson is. So I was like a little about that, but it's fine. I still have now my 3 receivers are absolutely insane. Well, I can hear you.
I was muted. Sorry. Yeah, I would say that you have to be, after the moves that you made, you have to be pretty happy with the receivers that you have now.
And now I have the Green Bay backfield. Hopefully, Aaron Jones better, so I could start him over Ramondre, and then if I have to, now I have a piece for bye weeks and stuff, running back that's startable. I had to make a little move. I gave up depth, but I have a solid stacked team.
Bobby, you mentioned you have to be aggressive in this league, and I completely agree. You've made a couple trades. You made one with me. We swapped DJ Moore, Damian Pierce, I believe, for Jahmyr Gibbs.
Trade that guy?
Yeah, Damian Pierce is becoming an annual. It's becoming an annual tradition for me and Bobby to trade Damian Pierce. Maybe next year it'll go the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Christian Watson, Jahmyr Gibbs came my way, and then Bobby, you made a blockbuster move where you moved Patrick Mahomes and a couple of other pieces for Kirk Cousins and Brandon Ayuk, obviously to try to shore up your receiver core. So talk about those trades.
I just got tired of waiting for Mahomes to blow up, dude. I mean, like, it's been he had a great matchup against the Jets, and he scored 15 points. And even
Jets defense is elite, Bobby.
No, I know. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, Mahomes is Mahomes. I mean, he
had one 30-point game this year.
He didn't even have 30 points this year. He
usually has like fucking 5-6 games of 30 or more. So I feel you there. You're expecting at least one. You haven't got one yet. So I feel you. Move the name. That's what it is. That's good for you.
I just felt like he was a tradable piece, and I can get something of value back for him. And I pulled the trigger.
Yeah, no, I think it was a shrewd move by you. I think Ayuk makes your team like way better, and yeah, it's tough to trade a quarterback and get value in any case. So I think you did a nice job there.
I think it also helped out that him trading with Narc and Narc also having Kittle made it a little more easier for him to let go of Ayuk.
That's possible too. And another thing that should be noted is that Bobby got Narc to make a trade.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, actually, I want to talk about that. How did you do that? Did you just send him a trade? Did you like message him first? Did he?
I actually sent him a
question.
Trade. The trade I originally offered him was, I believe it was Mahomes and Dotson and another piece. I forget which one, and it was for Amon-Ra and Jared Goff, and he rejected that, and he sent me back another trade, including Jaylen Warren. And I figured, okay, maybe I can get McLaughlin off the waiver wire if I spend a little bit of fab money. So I pulled the trigger on it.
Facts. Good job. That's the same thing I did this week with KJ Osborne.
Our little Bobby has grown up. I love it. I love to see. You love to see that kind of.
But that's what it's all about. Like, and it doesn't mean you're right. Like, you think that somebody's going to have a better second half of season while they had a shitty first, so you buy low to get that upside, and that's what it's all about. And we hit or miss all the fucking time. Like, I'm sitting here saying Ramondre's had 4 top 5 defensive going against them, or 3 or 4 of them. Oh, it's going to be good second half. No, I don't think so. Now I think that team is just fucking lost.
The funny thing was, Anthony, is that draft night I was going to draft him, but you got him first.
And I said it after that. I was like, and that's why we traded the next day you were like, "Oh man, I really wanted Stevenson." I was like, "Oh man, I really wanted Gibbs." So he came after me with Gibbs. We tried, and then that's when that happened. But yeah. We've had a lot of trades, bro. How many trades this year already? I've done 4 alone.
Yeah, I've done. I think 3. I think I got 3 trades under my belt right now. I actually have another offer out to Dahl right now. I don't think he's going to take it. He's kind of ignoring it.
He knows there's honestly nothing he can really do. You're muted. You're muted, Dave.
Oh, sorry. We've had 9 trades so far this year. 9.
9
trades.
It's us 3 right here.
Well, I just made a trade. The 9th trade was just made earlier tonight. I made a trade with Eddie, run and get a new team name, and we traded. So listen to the evolution of the trades that I made. So I traded. The first trade I made, it looks like, was with Johnny. I traded Jake Ferguson, the tight end, who I wish I kept, and Jackson Smith and Jigba for DJ Moore. Then I turned around and I made a trade with Dahl. With Bobby. I traded DJ Moore and Damian Pierce for Christian Watson and Gibbs. So I converted Ferguson and Njigba and Pierce into Watson and Gibbs. Then I took Watson and Gibbs and packaged them with Lamar Jackson and traded those guys to Blumpkin, to Dahl, for Kareem Hunt, Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Waddle. I made a Jalen trade. Kareem Hunt, I think I dropped, and then I took Jalen Waddle,
and you picked up Njigba,
and I picked Njigba back up again, and then I traded Waddle and Njigba for a second time. I traded him this year so far. I traded him away so far because I could trade him away again. You never know. I traded Waddle and Njigba away and got Addison and Higgins today. That was a marathon of trades, boys. A marathon.
Yeah. I did 3 trades before week 1.
Better now than I was when I started, though. So I think, as long as Higgins gets healthy and so on and so forth, I got a lot of ifs, but I feel pretty good about where I landed after.
No, it's good. Listen, you said 9 trades this season.
9.
You want a stat?
Go ahead.
33.3 of the trades this season happened before week 1.
Is that right? Okay.
3 trades before the season even started. The week 1.
Well,
the first one was me and Bobby J, Treylon Burks for James Cook, and then the second one was the big one with Johnny. It was Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Jonathan Taylor for Devontae Adams, Michael Pittman, and Cam Akers, and then I took Cam Akers and got Chris Godwin.
Yep.
All before week 1 started.
And now I have Cam Akers. So there you go.
See how this is how management works.
That's right. Like Bobby said, you have to be aggressive. You have to be.
If you still have all of your fab right now, shame on you.
Right. Or if you have more than $100, probably, with all the players that have been available and all the guys that have gotten injured.
Right. And at this point, learning that what people have been spending and what you should have to kind of put up for some caliber person. Like, look, you see what happened this week? Me and Jay, which I guess that goes by his record, and then after that,
no, there's like a list, a rank, like a running list secondarily.
Oh, okay, because we both put up 36 or 37 for KJ Osborne, and I got him.
Yeah,
you gotta fucking do it, guy.
Yeah, man.
He was $1 away.
I'm gonna regret all year the $3 I didn't bid to get Puka. Like that was the one where I thought I had enough. I thought I bid enough, and it was like $2 or $3 short.
No, he would have won you every week.
Well, not every week, but it would have been nice.
But no, like most of your weeks, 30 more. Oh my god, killing it.
Key matchups, gentlemen. It's time for some key matchups. This week, we are on Streak Watch. That's right. The 5-0 Stillwater takes on 3-2. That's what she said. The top scoring team in the league is looking to remain undefeated against an up-and-coming division rival who just had an offensive explosion. Stillwater's high score mark, which broke the season record after just 1 week, was broken after just 1 week by That's What She Said. And now the two will face off to find out whether it was a fluke or if Stillwater's magical ride ends here. That's the game of the week, fellas. I'm excited to watch that one.
I mean, no Justin Jefferson makes it even juicier.
And possibly no Olave either. So he might have to dig up a wide receiver somewhere.
Tell you what, that injury
luckily
snuck
for
right
him,
by
he
me.
had enough depth.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby.
What up?
We're on streak watch, and that means that we're watching the 0-5 Pretty Boy Johnny team take on 2-3 Sweep the Leg this week. What do you got?
I like you in that matchup, Dave. I really do. I just don't think Johnny has enough to compete, even with the trade he made. You got the Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown stack going on, and apparently the Philadelphia Eagles finally realized that they have AJ Brown on their team, and that they should throw the ball to him.
And they said, fucking my boy.
I just think that offense is still not.
Usage has been such an issue this year for everybody. I mean, I can't find a guy in the league that doesn't complain and say, I mean, look what happened to you, Anthony. I mean, maybe Devontae was on a pitch count, but they should have thrown him the ball at least 10 times.
Smith?
No, Devontae Adams. I mean, I was really nervous about that game going into Monday night because
and that's crazy because you're going into Monday night with a 40-point lead.
Yeah.
And you're like, shit, this guy can do it because they should throw this ball, but Jacoby Myers.
Well, again, especially how wide receiver ones have gone off this week. I mean, I figured, fuck, you got like one of the top 3 or 4 receivers in the league going tonight. I mean,
That's a really good
trouble.
Great breakdown of the Sweep the Leg PBJ game, guys. Sweep the Leg. This is a must-need game right here for Sweep the Leg, for sure. Against the 0-5 PBJ, Sweep the Leg needs to get right in this spot, in this get-right spot. PBJ obviously needs to get right as well. But can we discuss this really quickly? I made a note here to talk about this.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We have 2 0-5 teams. We're about to talk about the other 0-5 team in a minute. Actually, matter of fact, let's break down this 0-5 matchup real quick, and then we'll move.
Have we ever had that?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
Probably.
3-2, run and find a better name for your team versus the 0-5 chump. Another pretty clear mismatch, in my opinion, here. Will Luis fall to 0-6? Okay, so we have 2 0-5 teams who could conceivably fall to 0-6 this week, but they're very different teams. Luis pretty clearly has no idea what he's doing. Okay, came in hot. I love it. Love the energy. Pretty obviously has no idea what he's doing at all.
Yeah, Johnny has the better team.
He's 0-5, but he came by it honestly. He started at the draft, and it's been an issue ever since. But John has put together enough of a resume of competency that we can clearly see how this man has systematically destroyed his own team. Luis's struggles are, at their core, man versus science. John's struggle is man versus himself. What's going on with Johnny right now? I wish he was here. I wrote this and I planned this thinking that he would be with us tonight discussing this. Can anybody talk with Danny? Danny, you've got a pretty level head. Can you just talk about what's going on with Johnny right now? Give us a little perspective.
It's not good. When do him and Lou play? When do they play?
Incredible question. I'll find that out right now.
Yeah, circle the date. You could be I'm hoping it's next week because I think they're both going to lose this week. Sorry, Johnny. And then one of them is going to have to win. Right? I mean, they are going to play, right?
What week you on, Dave?
I'm on week 10. Give me a second. They play.
Okay.
They play in week 10, guys.
Okay.
What's the
This is wild. Okay, here we go, guys. We're going to do this right now. We have week 6 coming up. PBJ versus Sweep the Leg. Is that a win or a loss for PBJ?
Loss.
Loss.
the champ plays against run back to where you found this team name from. Win or loss?
Probably a loss.
Yeah, it's a loss.
Week 7, PBJ plays against Stillwater. Win or loss?
Okay.
Loss.
The chump
Two
plays.
losses.
The chump plays against the Rogues.
Probably a loss.
Loss. We already had a bunch of buys.
Week 8, PBJ plays against Sizzler. Is that a win or a loss?
Probably a loss.
Loss.
The chump plays against the division-leading Drunken Bums.
Probably a loss.
Loss.
Week 9, boys. PBJ plays against the Golden Showers. Interesting.
I guess it also factors on buys in each week. We're saying this.
Yeah.
It certainly does, but we know the rosters from top to bottom, bench included, for the most part. So, I mean, we have in week 9, we have the Golden Showers versus PBJ, and we have Blumpkin versus the Chump.
The Chump could possibly beat Blumpkin.
The Chump could possibly beat Blumpkin. And, Danny Mac, if we're talking resumes here,
I might say he takes that game against Blumpkin because Blumpkin's kind of poopy.
So we could be looking at week 9 before one of these teams scratches a win, guys. And then they play each other in week 10.
I don't think that's ever happened. There's no way two teams go 0-7.
That's definitely not. You're right. You're right about that. So, I mean, we're watching history. We're witnessing history here. It's special. It's special. And they're going about it in such different ways. It's really a beautiful thing. It really is. It really is a beautiful thing. Hey, Anthony.
Hey.
The 3-2 Beer Muscles are taking on the 3-2 Gotham Rogue team this week. We got a solid matchup here. What do you got?
Yeah, this one I'm looking at is very interesting. Both of these guys are on the up, trying to get back to the top of their division here. These guys also traded with each other recently, seeing how if those could benefit the other person here. I don't know this one. The projection is like separate. No, I think they're projected like 20 points apart. I'm interested, man. I want to see this. I think this Drake London situation is gonna be. He's like those hit or miss for that Atlanta passing offense. I love it. I want to see who gonna come out on top after this performance here. And Rogues isn't no slouch, as our good Johnny Boy says.
No, he's not.
He is no slouch.
He's no slouch.
But I really question isn't like Amon-Ra still pretty questionable for this week. He's not guaranteed to play just yet.
Right. My notes are that the Rogues are dealing with some definite injury questions going into this. And then the other note I have is that Bargain Bobby is rolling out the remade roster. Hey, Bargain Bobby, how you feeling about this match?
I mean, it depends. If Barkley plays, I might be in trouble. Because Bijan only scored 10 points last week because it seemed like Arthur Smith opened up the offense a little bit for Desmond Ridder. And Brian Robinson did not have a great game as well. So I could be in trouble on the running back side of that matchup. But we'll see.
Are you keeping McLaughlin in there?
I am.
Is that it? Is Javonte still not out? Are they still leading with McLaughlin? Is his kid still spicing it up?
I still don't think Williams is ready to play.
I saw today that Javonte's injury might be a little more serious than they let on at first. So,
well, good for you. I didn't spend enough fab on him.
I'm glad Bobby brought this up too. This week, how many games has Saquon Barkley missed? Danny,
all of them, but like 1.5, 2.
So how many games has he missed with the ankle? Has he
3?
missed 2 or 3? He's missed 3.
This is 3. Yeah.
What you guys told me he was day to day.
I would. Yeah, no, he's not.
3 weeks ago, you told me he was day to day and he might play that week.
That's what they were saying, but no, he still has not played. My guess would be who knows.
3 weeks. You guys said he was playing
week to week.
Yeah, week to week. Darren Waller's now week to week.
You see that list for them? The whole like offensive line.
Gross. Hey, Danny, the 4-1 Drunken Bums are taking on our friend, the 3-2 Sizzler.
They are.
It's the top J Chuck team versus Anthony.
Whoa.
What do you got on this one?
I don't like the way you said that.
Yeah, Ants, Noon improved squad. Herb's at quarterback, right? Strong play there. Hoping Stevenson gets going for the Patriots, but yeah, I think he'll do a little better, but I kind of agree with you there that the Patriots look like they're fucking dead. Cook's good. Receivers are really good. Adams, Cup, obviously Keenan Allen. Tight end. He might finish you have a top, arguably 3 tight end. And
It might be the best
right
draft
now.
pick Anthony ever made.
Yeah, it's up there.
Disagree. I've made
Good job spending on Osborne. Same defense is solid.
Wait, timeout. We got a message here. Trade Derrick Henry for James Cook and Zay Flowers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah. I think Spears is coming in, taking some
Do it
touches
twice
away.
if you can.
And James Cook, I love his what he's doing in that offense and what they're using him and how they're utilizing him.
I'd trade Cook for Henry straight up.
Yeah, do that deal. Make that trade.
Yeah, are you trading, just to confirm, are you trading Derrick Henry to get James Cook and Zay Flowers?
As long as you're receiving Cook and Flowers, right? If you're on the receiving end of Cook and Flowers, that's a good deal.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Gotcha, Quinn.
Thank you for the question, Quinn.
Thank you. Yes.
Good job. Good job. Heads up.
Anthony, that's Anthony's job. Anthony watches. Yes.
Yeah, trading away Derrick Henry. Absolutely,
yep.
Bro.
Do it.
Absolutely. Immediately press that button.
Accept. You're welcome, Quinn. Thanks for tuning in. We do this it's either Tuesday or Wednesday, so subscribe. Please. We have one more game to talk about. The 2 and 3 Golden Showers taking on the 2 and 3 Team Blumpkin. 2 teams that are trying to right the ship. Both of them.
You're welcome, Quinn.
Just subscribe, my man.
Nice. Thank you. The Golden Showers and Team Blumpkin are 2 teams that are trying to right the ship. Both teams are coming off narrow, low-scoring wins. They're trying to get things going. Hey, Danny, how you feeling about this matchup coming up this week?
Better than I did last week. And I won last week, so I'll take it. Not really anybody on a bye. Still have one decision to make at running back, but it is what it is. Back to starting Joey B. If I started last week, I would have had a much more normal week instead of Jordan Love's fucking 5 points or whatever he scored.
Yeah, cry me a river, pal.
Yeah,
your team is, as far as your rankings are the same. Your record is the same, but your team is much better than his.
His what?
I said your team is much better than his, in my opinion.
The
same ranked team.
Hence,
confidence is high.
It looks like Travis is good to go for tomorrow night, so that helps.
Now, Danny, one last question before we move on. Do you know if Taylor Swift will be at the game?
I would assume she is.
Yo, listen, this man's never been injured, and she started showing around, and he fucking misses a little bit. All right, he's getting soft. We gotta shut that shit down.
Yeah, I'd dump her ass.
She's fine. She can afford better doctors than the Chiefs.
Okay, so that'll wrap up this week's show. Bobby, once again, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Bobby.
Awesome being here tonight. Thank you so much.
We'll see you again. We'll see you again at some point during the season for sure. One stat. We got the stat of the week before we wrap it up. The stat of the week this week is that the fewest losses a team has ever had in the league in one regular season is 1 by the Sizzler, and the fewest wins is 2 by Tyler Fight Club. I will see you guys next week, where it's always Sunday.